The country of Poland has played a major role in new amusement parks and roller coasters in Europe over the past few years. Mostly this is because of one singular park. Say it with me now, Energylandia. First opening in 2014, Energylandia has become one of the fastest growing parks of all time. As of 2024, they will have tied Six Flags Magic Mountain in California as the park with the most roller coasters anywhere in the world. Along with that, there have been a handful of fun family parks that have made some bold investments, like what we've seen at Legendia Śląskie Weselé Miasteczko in Warsaw, Poland. These prevalent new investments in the country have proved to be a great success and have even inspired more future development, like the new Hazoland theme park that'll be opening near the city of Szczecin in 2024. I visited Poland as a part of my big 7-week trip across Europe this past summer, and today I want to rank the top 10 roller coasters in the country. There is one that I did not get to do that I think should make the list, and since I've done 2 identical clones around the world, I think it's fair that I include it. Other than that, I'm only ranking rides I have personally experienced. Now, before we dive in, I will say that most of these attractions are at Energylandia, which means that this list is not the most necessary in the world. But since we'll be doing a countdown list like this for all the other countries I visited, I knew I couldn't just leave Poland out. If you'd like to hear more about Energylandia itself, along with nearby Legendia, I have reviews, vlogs, and separate countdowns all relating to those parks. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. Number 10, Speed at Energylandia. Honestly, I kind of hate that this had to make the list because it kind of sucks. Like, I've never ridden a water coaster as flawed as this one. When you look at it, it looks like a beast. How could a ride manufactured by Intamin standing 164 feet tall underdeliver? I have no idea what went wrong in the design process, but Speed pulls absolutely no forces and is pretty shaky. The only 2 reasons it makes the top 10 is A, it's an imposing ride that looks incredible, and B, it does get you quite wet, which was actually really nice on the scorching hot first day we spent at Energylandia. Number 9, Light Explorers, also at Energylandia. A far smaller ride than Speed, Light Explorers ranked a bit higher because this is a high quality family coaster. Vekoma Family Boomerangs are tame attractions known for its forwards and backwards elements. And of all the ones I've ridden, Light Explorers was the smoothest with the best setting located entirely over the water. It's nothing too thrilling, but I found a lot of appreciation for such a small little coaster when I visited the park. Number 8, Roller Coaster Mayan at Energylandia. Vekoma SLC coasters are some of the most notoriously awful coaster models out there. And while Roller Coaster Mayan does follow its stereotypical layout, it does have something that a lot of the others don't, and that's updated vest restraints. This new and improved restraint system eliminates all possible headbanging you'd experience otherwise. Now, it can only help so much since this attraction doesn't track very well, but it is tolerable and relatively fun since you're able to appreciate all of the intense elements. Number 7, Dragon at Energylandia. Last coaster at Energylandia before we switch over to another park, I promise. This is the best family coaster at the park in my opinion. Also of Vekoma, this family inverted coaster is a fraction of the size of Roller Coaster Mayan, a full-size inverted thrill coaster. But I rank it higher for a number of reasons. It's a very smooth coaster, it has a super freeing lap bar restraint, and it's an engaging layout even if it's not the most extreme. The drop into the dragon mouth and the zippy overbank turn are loads of fun and make for a great start to the ride experience. The rest of the layout also has some quick helixes through tunnels as well. It's not as intense as the remaining rides on this list, but it is fun and something you should definitely check out if you visit the park. Number 6, Velok at Mayaland Kovnati. The only coaster on this list I have not ridden, I thought including Velok was only fair since I've experienced 2 virtually identical rides at other amusement parks. One is Heidi the Ride and is located at Plopsaland de Pan in Belgium, and the other is White Lightning at Fun Spot America in Orlando, Florida. Now, I do prefer Heidi the Ride to White Lightning since I found it to run much smoother, so I'm basing this ranking off of the smoothness of that attraction. I would imagine Velok to feel similar since the coaster opened in 2018, not too far from Berlin, Germany. From my past experiences, regardless of any shakiness, these small GCI wooden roller coasters are chock full of wonderful airtime pops and a well-paced layout. It's not a very long ride, but that's just okay considering the size of this small family entertainment center. Cracking the top 5 is Formula at Energylandia. Often regarded as an important ride for the amusement industry, Formula was the first time Vekoma really unveiled what they were capable of with their new and improved ride models. Compared to their other attractions, SLCs and Boomerangs included, which can be some of the worst coasters out there, their new stuff is comfortable, smooth, and has sensational elements. Formula in particular is not as large as some of their other new generation ride editions, but it did pave the way for those coasters. And besides, it does have some spectacular airtime and fluid inversions in its short 1,800 foot long layout. It's not one of the largest rides at Energylandia, but it is absolutely one of the best. Number 4, Abysses at Energylandia. The best way I can describe this ride is if you took Formula and beefed it up to make it a high intensity attraction. Abysses is an extreme coaster, though I say that keep in mind it's not going to rip your face off like the final 3 rides on this list. However, what it does offer is spectacular. Abyssus has a super varied layout with a healthy balance of negative and positive g-forces. Some of the airtime moments are floater, some are ejector. Some of the inversions are floaty, others power through and cause you to gray out a little bit. There's so much diversity within the layout on Abyssus that frankly goes unnoticed by most roller coaster enthusiasts. It's for that reason that I declared Abyssus the most underrated roller coaster in Europe in a video counting down the 15 most underrated. It is an absolutely fantastic ride. Number 3, Let Coaster at Legendia Śląskie Weselem Miasteczko. Short for Legendia, this bizarre amusement park located right outside the city of Katowice underwent a short transitional period of heavy investment, with the most significant outcome being this absolutely world-class roller coaster. Let Coaster not being 2 or 1 on this list speaks to the increase in quality attractions in Poland, because if you compare it to all the other coasters I've ever ridden, I rank it easily in my top 25. Let Coaster is the world's only Vekoma Bermuda Blitz model, meaning while it is clonable and may pop up at other parks at some point, it's the only one of its kind at the moment. That means it's absolutely necessary that if you visit Poland, you make it a point to come here. Despite its 131 foot tall height, which isn't huge or anything, I think this is one of the most intense and forceful roller coasters in the world. It's one of those rides that really proves stats are not everything. The pace at which it takes its elements, the inversions of choice, the airtime maneuvers, and the smoothness of the attraction makes it a perfectly well-balanced experience. And best of all, since it hardly ever gets busy at Legendia, it's so easy to just re-ride this thing over and over again. I got up to a dozen rides on Let Coaster, but eventually tapped out because it is so much to handle. A definite must-ride experience for European coaster enthusiasts. Number 2, Hyperion at Energylandia. Europe's second tallest roller coaster is a beast, with a height of 252 feet and drop of 269 feet. But it isn't just tall and isn't just fast, traveling at speeds of nearly 90 miles per hour. It's also got one of the best layouts on any hypercoaster in the world. For those of you less informed, a hypercoaster is a style of roller coaster that stands between 200 and 299 feet tall and traditionally feature a series of large camelback hills producing loads of airtime. Occasionally, you'll also get some hypercoasters that mix things up with an inversion or two and maybe even a twister section, and that's exactly what Hyperion does. It's got your out and back series of hills in the first half and a rapid series of airtime hills and quick turns in the second half. Dividing the two distinct halves of the ride is also a dive loop, which is really unique to a hypercoaster. In my opinion, it's hard to believe they could have varied the layout any better. Not to mention the open restraints on the trains and the sense of speed make it one of the best coasters in Europe by far. Yet it's still not the best roller coaster in Poland. So which is it? Allow me to introduce you to number 1, Zodra at Energylandia. Built by the American manufacturer Rocky Mountain Construction, Zodra is the tallest and fastest hybrid roller coaster in the world, matching the records held by Busch Gardens Tampa's Iron Gwazi. Both of the attractions share a lot of similarities, but I walked away liking Zodra more. Matter of fact, I liked it so much that I instantly ranked it inside my top 3 favorite roller coasters of all time. In my opinion, its relentless pacing, perfect sequence of elements, mix of forces, and even its presentation and theming make it one of the greatest coasters on the planet. So if there's anything you take away from this video, let it be that Zodra alone makes a visit to Poland worth it. Then you combine it with some of these other coasters and parks and the country's beautiful cities, and it's an absolute must-visit country. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in Poland, and I know I'll be back at some point in the future. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching my Poland top 10 roller coasters list. If you enjoyed, feel free to give me a like and subscribe to Coaster Dash for more videos like this in the future. Also, comment down below your rankings of Polish coasters, or if you haven't ridden any, which are the highest on your bucket list. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye guys.